Our boy just got married, but the very next morning, wild.
The maid wakes him up to sweep? Since when does a rich son-in-law do chores?
Is this some newlywed power play, or is the maid trying to humble him?
But when he opens the door, bro, what? The entire floor is covered in bank cards.
The maid tells him the old lady prepared these, and she did not want to delay. That is why she woke him up. Honestly, he is still standing there completely clueless.
Seeing his face, the maid laughs and explains their family tradition.
Apparently, on the morning after the wedding, the mother-in-law gives the groom cash to sweep up. But the old lady hated cash, so she just threw down a stack of bank cards instead.
He just needs to sweep them symbolically. Seriously, where do they have customs like this?
Bro, sign me up. Can he sweep money every single morning? Honestly, with bank cards on the floor, who was ever oversleeping again? No morning grumpiness here.
He sweeps every single card in the hallway straight into his dustpan, with no idea how much is on them, even if it is just 10,000 each. That is hundreds of thousands, plus the maid says the pan is literally his birthday. Before he can even process this crazy jackpot, the opposite bedroom door swings open. An incredibly gorgeous woman appears, calmly wishing him a good morning. With a quick glance at Aunt Zhang, she looks at the massive stack of cards he's holding.
Do not be shy, she says. Just keep them and spend them however you want.
With that, she walks off, leaving him thinking. Shy? Bro, he is absolutely not shy. He was just interrupted. As soon as Aunt Zhang hands them over, he happily takes the cards and heads back into his room. Stashing them on his desk, he goes to wash up and suddenly memories hit him. Turns out the original owner of this body went to the exact same top-tier university. But while the original owner stayed as a professor, our guy was grinding in corporate. Now he has a 3-day wedding leave. This transition is honestly perfect. He plans to spend these 3 days studying the original owner's lecture slides. He does not want to mess up in class. Honestly, this teaching job is a dream. 2-day weekends, all holidays off, and actual winter and summer breaks? Yes, please. No early classes means sleeping in, which is the ultimate luxury. Without endless corporate meetings, he can head home early if his afternoon is free. His evenings are completely his own. In his past life, he could only dream of this. He was forced into the corporate grind back then. He is so grateful to the original owner. Seriously, thank you. He hears movement next door. He pokes his head out of the bathroom. His wife is already dressed, telling him to hurry up and come down for breakfast. That casual remark from Fu Yunshu actually catches him off guard. It makes it feel like they have been living together for years, which is crazy, since they have literally only met twice, once at the engagement, once at the wedding. Talk about a speedrun marriage. Downstairs at the breakfast table, Fu Yunshu treats him like he is completely invisible, not saying a single word. But right before she leaves, she slides another bank card across the table. She tells him his monthly allowance will go here, already registered under his identity. Classic wealthy CEO move. The sugar mommy era is here, and honestly, we are not complaining. With this much cash, who cares if his cold CEO wife ignores him? He is not looking back. Uncle Fu heads off to work, and our boy takes his new card back to his room. He tosses it right next to all those other cards he swept off the floor earlier. After a second, he picks it back up to try linking it to his mobile banking app. Boom! It actually works! Honestly, his wealthy wife really did think of everything. Since everything is mobile payments now, having it under his own ID is perfect. He links it up, realizing his monthly allowance is a straight-up 2-million-yuan. No way he is working, but his curiosity does not stop there. Just to test his luck, he grabs one of those random cards from earlier. He links it, and it actually binds. Absolutely wild. So his mother-in-law registered these under his name too, with 600,000 each. With dozens of these cards, we are talking over 10 million yuan total. That is insane! It is pretty obvious at this point. The old lady is just obsessed with the number 6. Just for luck. He silently apologizes to the original owner. But hey, this crazy wealth belongs to him now as he finishes linking every card. He locks them safely in his drawer, finally ready to head out and touch some grass. Time to see the world. When you are filthy rich, everything looks beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. As for his dramatic plan to live a tough life, Let us put that on hold. No rush to suffer when you have millions.
The butler asks if he wants a ride. Now, our boy technically has a driver's license. But since he has never actually driven a real car, he decides to play it safe.
He tells him to go ahead and arrange it.
He tells the driver, Uncle Yu, to head to Fang Yuan Plaza on a whim.
He just wants to hit up the busiest mall nearby and experience buying whatever he likes.
That legendary feeling of never checking price tags. If transmigrating is a game, he is winning.
He is about to use this rich son-in-law cheat code for all the perks it offers.
Time to live his absolute best life and do whatever he wants.
Uncle Yu mentions their family owns this mall, offering to clear the place out.
No need, he says. He just wants to wander around the 28-story luxury building.
The 8th floor and above are leased out as offices, but the lower levels are shopping heaven.
Everything from the 7th floor down is a massive mall with 2 basement parking levels.
Floors 1 through 7 are loaded with luxury stores, designer brands, and gourmet supermarkets.
Boutiques and theme parks.
Plus, top-tier restaurants, quiet bookstores, giant cinemas, and state-of-the-art gyms.
Even cozy cat cafes and trendy boutiques. The whole place is practically dripping in gold. He spots a luxury car dealership inside and decides to take a quick look.
Wait, a plot twist. A couple walks right up to him. They called him Teacher Win. He instantly remembers this guy is his coworker. His name is Jiang Hao, and his pregnant wife is only a month away from her due date.
They share an office at school, though Jiang Hao rarely actually shows up to do work. He always felt bitter about our main character using the space more.
Honestly, what a weird question to ask. Like, where else is he supposed to be?
He asks what he is doing here instead of being on marriage leave.
Then he points out that nobody from school was invited, so everyone assumed his new wife was embarrassing.
They literally think his wife is too ugly to show off. Bro, they have absolutely no idea. Just who was she? Honestly, the original host never told his coworkers anything.
Nobody even knew he was married, let alone who his wife actually was. To him, it was private. Besides, someone like Fu Yunshu is literally on another level.
If he claimed she was his wife, no shot anyone would believe him. Plus, the original guy was low-key so humble that everyone just assumed he came from a normal background. Just an ordinary dude, but actually, his family is a major powerhouse in Haicheng.
We are talking serious old money here, and the elite guests who attended their wedding? They were all legendary business moguls and high society giants, so he didn't invite any coworkers.
Mainly because he had only been at the school for 2 weeks and barely knew anyone.
Only a few school directors showed up. When asked, he casually said his wife is from Jing City.
She didn't go back home. His coworker immediately pried, asking why she wasn't with him.
Wait, don't newlyweds get marriage leave, right? Why on earth is she still going to work?
That company sounds totally sketchy. No shot they even give basic marriage leave. When my wife and I got married, we did not just take 3 days off. We took annual leave for a Bali honeymoon.
Don't tell me you two aren't even going on a honeymoon? You're so handsome, but too bad your family background is poor.
You shouldn't even be here right now. You should be enjoying some beautiful resort with your new wife.
Yeah, sure. Honestly, our main character could totally see through this guy's blatant shading. Always prying into other people's business. What a hater. Just trying to flex his own life, our guy calmly replied, "Oh, she actually has to work." She mentioned this morning she had a major global conference to close a $10 million deal.
I didn't want to get in her way, so I decided to head out for a nice walk alone.
As for any future kids, we can easily hire premium maternity matrons and then private nannies once they're older.
You guys must have picked out an elite postpartum care center already, right? When you're out, your status is what you make of it. Honestly, I love how our guy just rolls with it.
Even though he had no idea what Fu Yunshu was busy with at work, that didn't stop his flex.
For a legendary wealthy family, of course they can afford the best nannies money can buy. Would they ever need to raise a kid themselves? Honestly, his casual comeback is so satisfying. This completely bruised the ego of Jiang Hao's wife, making her face turn sour instantly.
Not yet,
she muttered. We're just browsing for some baby clothes today. Anyway, Teacher Wen, we'll catch up later. We're heading up to the 2nd floor now. He smiled and said, sure, goodbye. Once they finally walked away, our guy decided to check out a maternal care shop. He wanted to grab some premium baby supplies for his childhood best friend's wife. Running into Jiang Hao actually reminded him that the original host had a close childhood friend.
whose wife had just given birth. But here's the crazy part. He ran straight into Zhang Hao and his wife again. He decided to totally ignore them and keep browsing. The store was absolutely massive, so he just walked directly over to a completely different section. To avoid hearing any more sarcastic comments, he ended up spending over 100,000 yuan there and left his friend's shipping address. Next, he headed over to a gold jewelry store. Maybe the original host who grew up constantly receiving endless luxury gifts from his wealthy family elders. I never really cared about simple gold jewelry before. But our reincarnated main character is built different, because honestly, who doesn't love real gold? Now that he has wealth freedom, he picked out a beautiful gold lock pendant for the baby and grabbed a sleek gold bracelet for himself. He didn't even bother buying any clothes there, since his walk-in closet was already overflowing. By the time he got home, it was just past 11. After a quick shower, he changed into his comfortable loungewear. Out of nowhere, an unexpected caller hits him up. It is Chen. Chen asks why he bought so many things for the kid, hoping they actually like it. Those gifts are actually a massive hit, especially that super practical toy car. Even the adults want to play with it. Honestly, same. He plans to bring a gold lock over for the kid tomorrow. Then Chen asks a super cheeky question. How was their first night? Our boy calls him a total gossip. They slept in separate rooms. Wait, what? They just got married and already have separate rooms? How are they supposed to build any real romance like that? What is he even waiting for? It is not like they are in a fake contract marriage with a set divorce date. He needs to make this work, unless he wants her looking for someone else. He knows Fu Yunshu would never cheat, but those words still sting.
Honestly, he's right. They aren't on a contract, so they should try to make it work.
He tries to recall what the novel said about the original owner. Like, when did they actually sleep together? Or when did that crash happen? Did the couple ever genuinely fall in love, or did they stay distant? The book never mentioned any of this, leaving him deep in thought after hanging up. But this is a fresh start. He will just go at his own pace. Following his heart, he grabs his laptop and books to head over to the study room. Inside the study, he finds her workspace, alongside a brand new desk setup prepared just for him. The housekeeper explains that Fu Yunshu customized the second floor space specifically for his teaching job. She did not want him constantly running up and down the stairs all day. So she had the entire room remodeled, even though she usually works here herself. Now the other half is his. Turns out Fu Yunshu really thought of everything. Smiling, our boy confidently walks right over to claim his cozy new workspace. He sets down his things while Aunt Zong serves some fresh juice and slips away. Alone in the study, he reviews the original owner's college notes to get a solid grasp.
Luckily, the material is pretty much identical to what he studied in his past life.
Since he was a straight-A scholarship student, teaching freshman classes should be an absolute breeze.
It has only been 2 months since his graduation and 2 weeks on the job. Right now, it is mid-September, the exact time when new university freshmen arrive. The freshmen have finished military training, and to ensure his first class is flawless, he prepares carefully. He decides to run a mock lecture just as Fu Yunshu returns home downstairs.
She asks about her husband, and Aunt Zong praises just how incredibly hardworking he is.
She mentions going up to deliver a drink and catching him practicing his lectures aloud. Fu Yunshu plays it cool, acting uninterested, and asks the maid to call him down.
She wants to introduce him to a friend, prompting the maid to ask about the dress code. The maid offers to prep a formal outfit, but Fu Yunshu says simple is fine. Aunt Zhang heads upstairs to tell him that his wife wants him to change outfits. She is bringing him to meet a friend, so he agrees to go down. He finishes practicing in front of the mirror, though something still feels a bit off. Hearing the knock, he quickly wraps up his prep work and exits the study. Aunt Zhang tells him it is likely a close friend, so casual clothes are fine. She reassures him that he can dress down, so he warmly thanks her. Back in the bedroom, mid-September in the capital is still absolutely baking hot. She walks downstairs and hears him talking about their wedding yesterday.
Apparently, his lawyer friend missed it. So he wants to treat them to dinner tonight to make up for it.
She is free anyway, so why not? Besides, she wants to get closer to his family and spot any potential haters. After that recent car accident, she needs to stay alert. He asks if she stayed home all day, but she actually went to the plaza. Just grabbing some quick gifts, and he simply nods. Soon, they pull up to a quiet spot with a sign reading Shushu Sichu. It is a cozy restaurant serving authentic Haicheng food. He is positive she will love it. They head inside to meet their mystery guests. It is just a married couple she definitely knows. Boom! Right there waiting for them is the famous Leiyu couple. These two are massive online creators with a joint channel. We are talking over 20 million followers across all platforms. The wife is Wang Yu, a brilliant lawyer. She posts videos explaining legal stuff and breaking down viral cases. She even does free legal aid for people in need. Her husband, Ren Lei, used to be a certified accountant. Now he's a full-time dad vlogging their cute daily life. He also does live stream sales on the side. Yunshu literally just watched their videos during her study break. She happily introduces Chen as her husband. Giggling, she adds that there is no need to introduce the influencers. They greet him warmly, and she admits she is a big fan. Hearing she already follows them makes their day. Turns out Wang Yu missed the wedding because of a major court case.
Her husband was out of town visiting his sick grandfather.
But they heard Chen was incredibly handsome, and yeah, he is literally him.
They tease her about how lucky she is to have him.
Hearing her say she is happy makes his heart skip a beat. Honestly, this is the first time she has ever seen him blush.
They explain how their friend group always invites partners into the chat.
They love planning group hangouts like hiking or cozy camping.
They immediately add her to the group so they can all hang out.
She agrees, and soon they are back in the car. Since the couple travels a lot, they know all the best spots.
He suggests asking them for honeymoon ideas, or she can tell him.
Wait, a honeymoon? She is low-key wondering if she is hallucinating right now. Are they seriously going to go on a trip together? Won't it be super awkward? But he explains Mom already planned everything. He even talked to her school and secured a whole month off. Talk about a legendary mother-in-law, she is absolutely built different.
She is completely speechless, but honestly, a whole month off is a major win.
Our boy was so hyped he could not sleep, only waking up at 11 the next morning. After washing up and changing, he had his driver take him straight to his best friend's place.
His buddy mentions he has a sudden business trip but will be back tomorrow, so get ready.
They are flying to Hong Kong tomorrow afternoon, and honestly, our main character is totally stunned. The tickets are already booked. Talk about crazy fast efficiency. Just last night, he told his buddy he had no objections and to plan everything. Who knew their first stop would be Hong Kong? Honestly, that city is incredibly bustling anyway.
He really wanted to check it out, but of course, bad luck strikes.
Right after lunch at his buddy's, he gets a frantic call from his mother-in-law's maid calling for him. The old lady fell down and is currently at the hospital. He hangs up and rushes over, only to find she is already in surgery. The maid explained she went for a walk, saw a stray cat, and felt sorry for it. She wanted to pick it up, but because of the heavy rain from the night before, the ground was still wet and she slipped right on a slick spot.
After a quick exam, the doctor confirmed her right arm is completely fractured.
Her right leg was also badly cut by a rock, requiring immediate surgery. Luckily, she did not hit her head, and the rest of her body is fine. Otherwise, they would have a hard time explaining this to the eldest daughter. Our boy literally cringes hearing this.
She is elderly, yet she was wandering the mansion's massive garden completely alone.
One bad slip, and she ends up with a broken arm.
It must have hurt terribly, and honestly, the mansion staff should have been way more careful.
How could they let this happen? Meanwhile, the travel-loving father-in-law is all the way across the Atlantic. To make things worse, Fu Yun is on a business trip and cannot fly back until this afternoon. Since our main character is the first to arrive at the hospital, he has to demand answers from the butler and servants. Think of how much she is suffering. Why did no one help her grab the cat? For an elite, wealthy family like theirs? They literally hired dozens of staff just to sweep the yard and clean their private lake. Where was everyone? And how did a stray cat even get inside their private grounds? Why was the puddle in the corner left there instead of being cleaned up immediately? Normally she has someone by her side, but today when she went out,
Her assigned servant had a sudden stomach issue and left her alone for just a moment.
the head servant claims she was holding a meeting. Wait, what kind of meeting? We have all heard of morning meetings or weekly reviews, but this? Who knew household servants needed a massive meeting right after lunch? Even Butler Joe does not do that. Turns out, The second madam wanted to plan a surprise birthday. She ordered them to quietly set up a banquet to surprise the old lady.
So the head maid figured she would gather everyone while the old lady napped. She held a meeting to share the news. Wait, is not second madam actually Fu Yun's second aunt?
She is the female lead's mother in the original novel, and let me tell you, her backstory is wild.
She used some pretty shady schemes to marry into this wealthy family back in the day.
Because of that, she was always treated like an outcast, until her daughter became the official heir.
Suddenly, her status skyrocketed. But is she really on good terms with the mother-in-law? Why secretly plan a party? Honestly, they really need to get their priorities straight here. Their primary job at the mansion is literally just keeping the old lady safe. Leave the party planning to professionals. It is not like the wealthy Gu family lacks the cash. The butler is like, but the second madam said this, the second madam said that. At this point, our guy Wen is not having it. Like, why do you only listen to her? Is the second madam always right?
Seeing the in-surgery sign lit up starts giving him serious anxiety, especially since his wife, the eldest miss, isn't even here yet.
Song literally thought the son-in-law wouldn't care about household affairs, so he didn't think twice. But seeing Wen this mad, now the butler is low-key panicking about losing his job.
After all, Grandma personally handpicked Wen to be her son-in-law, and his love for the old lady is 100% real.
Facing his sharp questions, Stuart Song can only play nice and apologize. The butler claims he only listened to the second madam because he thought it was best for Grandma. Talk about a crazy coincidence, but honestly, there are no coincidences in these manhwas. He starts putting the pieces together. In the original novel, Fu Yunshu's cousin is the second madam's daughter. Once that cousin became the new heir, the second madam basically ran the whole show. It gets wilder. Now Wen is starting to suspect that the second madam actually orchestrated that massive car accident. If that is true, then the second madam is already starting her evil schemes right now.
Looking back at the original owner's memories, the guy was actually super righteous and did a lot of good deeds.
Which begs the question, did the original host die because he discovered some dark secret? Or maybe he saw something he should not have, making the villains decide to silence him forever. Honestly, you cannot even blame our guy for thinking the second uncle's family is pure evil. After all, when Fu Yunxiao got into that accident, they were the ones who benefited the most. If his theory is correct, this family is absolutely diabolical. But if he starts digging around now, the second madam's spies might catch on. That would put a target right on his back, and he is not trying to get killed like the original host did. He needs to play dumb for now, so he tells the butler to just be more careful next time. No matter what, Grandma comes first, and someone needs to be by her side at all times. He orders them to clean up every slippery corner of the yard. Now, all they can do is wait. All we can do is wait outside the operating room. Did you notify Fu Yunxiao yet? Yes, I already called the eldest miss. She is currently on her way back. After what feels like an absolute eternity, the doctor finally pushes Grandma out of the operating room. Turns out the lead surgeon is actually Fu Yunshu's old classmate, so he recognizes our guy immediately.
He tells Mr. Wen not to worry because the surgery was not too complicated. She had a fracture and they had to put in 3 steel pins, so the poor old lady went through some serious pain. Now, she just needs plenty of rest to recover properly over the next few weeks.
Wen thanks Dr. Pei for his hard work and heads over to check on Grandma first. Stepping into the private hospital room, he walks right up to the bedside to check on her. She is still totally unconscious, resting with an IV drip hooked up to her hand. Aside from Wen and the butler, there are 2 maids and a private nurse squeezed into the room. Seeing the crowd, Wen tells them not to crowd around since it will only disturb Grandma's rest.
He sends them out to wait in the lobby, and after a quiet watch by her side, Grandma finally opens her eyes and immediately tries to comfort him, saying accidents just happen sometimes. She even jokes that a broken bone just wards off bad luck, so she is treating this as a blessing in disguise. She tells him a little rest is all she needs. Looking at this sweet old lady, our guy honestly feels closer to her than his own biological mother. He smiles, telling her she's way too optimistic. This low-key makes him remember his toxic mom from his previous life. If she ever fell and broke a bone, she would wake up screaming that it is all because her kids are useless and that she would not have fallen if they bought her a mansion. She would just play the victim, crying about her miserable life and how none of her children actually care about her. But speaking of moms, Wen realizes he has not even met this body's real parents yet. Apparently they divorced when the original owner was only 6 years old.
Basically, both parents remarried super fast, leaving our main character to live with her dad and stepmother. But hey, the family drama wasn't too bad, so both parents actually showed up to her wedding. The catch? They brought their new families. Talk about awkward. Anyway, she tells her mother-in-law to rest up. She offers to head home and get the kitchen to prep some nourishing meals for her recovery. But the mother-in-law declines, saying the mansion's private chefs and maids have it covered. She just wants her new daughter-in-law to sit down and keep her company.
And get this, she reminds them that their honeymoon to Hong Kong is supposed to start tomorrow.
The sweet old lady even offers to share some crazy stories from her own youth there.
But our girl is like, Mom, how can we go on vacation with you in a hospital bed?
She has a whole month of leave anyway. Not gonna lie, this mother-in-law is built different. Most rich parents demand constant attention, but she's practically begging them to go enjoy their trip. Love her energy.
But the mother-in-law refuses to let them cancel, saying a month's leave is too precious to waste.
She insists it's just a simple bone fracture, nothing to ruin a honeymoon over. With a fleet of private maids, she really doesn't need them. Our main character, being a teacher, argues she still has school breaks and family always comes first. She insists they can travel anytime later. Canceling this honeymoon is honestly no big deal to her. Plus, she secretly admits that traveling alone with her new husband, Fu Yun, sounds low-key awkward anyway.
Meanwhile, Fu Yuan arrives and watches them through the glass window, seeing how well they're bonding.
Whatever she's saying, it keeps making the sweet old lady on the bed burst into laughter. Fu Yin walks in, immediately asking his mother how she is holding up. He asks if she's in pain, but his mom just waves it off. She claims a minor surgery is nothing compared to the wild life she's lived. Our girl slips out to give them some privacy, but as she sits in the lobby, a sharp voice echoes, absolutely blasting the servants for letting the old lady slip. She's furious that the courtyard wasn't cleared of slick water. Turns out, it's the second aunt.
Instantly recognizing that voice, she notes how incredibly young the second aunt sounds.
And wow, she looks barely in her early 40s. Her skincare routine must be insane. The MC greets her as second aunt, letting her know the old lady just woke up.
Glancing outside, she realizes the sun is setting and nobody has eaten yet. Second aunt says dinner is on the way, then heads inside, muttering about how dangerous falls are.
Taking a big fall at this age is pure torture. Honestly, this aunt seems super warm and friendly. She speaks so softly, which is a massive plot twist compared to the typical wicked aunt trope. As soon as she enters, she worriedly asks her sister-in-law how such a bad fall could even happen. The old lady pauses her chat with Fu Yun and warmly invites her sister-in-law to sit down. She explains she rushed over immediately, bringing a thermos of fresh pork rib soup she had simmering at home. She says you know the old rule, eat bone broth to heal broken bones. She urges her to drink up and eat some meat so those fractured bones can mend quickly. The aroma fills the room, and the mother-in-law deeply appreciates the sweet gesture. It looks like these two sisters-in-law actually get along great, which is so refreshing to see. Otherwise, second aunt wouldn't have rushed over like this. Guess her initial suspicions about this family were totally wrong. The mother-in-law points out they haven't eaten yet and shoos them away, saying she's fine with second aunt here. She tells them to go grab a nice dinner first. Our girl is easygoing, telling Fu Yun she'll eat literally anything as long as it's filling. She's not picky at all, but when they stop, she asks if he's sure about this restaurant. He just smiles and leads her inside to try it. Uncle Lin welcomes the lady and her husband, offering to whip up some of his best signature dishes. They order some tea, and our main character wonders who actually owns this cozy little spot. Turns out the guy who just greeted them is not just the chef, he is the actual owner. He was actually trained by her grandfather after serving as a head chef at a high-end restaurant. After some personal setbacks, he opened this place with her grandfather, funding half of the startup costs. Wait, her grandfather was a chef? You just know there is a crazy backstory here. The place looks totally low-key from the outside, but the interior and prices are high-end. Yep, her grandmother actually fell for the grandfather solely because of his legendary cooking skills. Well, that is ancient history now. They decide to skip the next spot and head out. When they return to the hospital ward, the grandmother is already sound asleep. She had a super long, exhausting talk with the second aunt, so she probably just fell asleep early. The family tells the couple to head home and stop worrying.
The hospital director even assigned 2 professional caretakers to watch over her in shifts. After getting home, our guy gets a text from Wang Yu inviting him to a bar. He asks his wife if she wants to go, but she immediately shuts it down. She warns him that alcohol is bad for his health and tells him to drink less. His friends joke that next time they should just meet at a dessert shop instead.
That way she can grab a sweet drink for her husband too, but the next day brings trouble.
He gets a totally aggressive call from his colleague Zhang Hao, demanding to know why he took leave. He took a whole month off for his honeymoon, though explaining the details to this guy is pointless.
But Zhang Hao completely uses his mind, complaining that Teacher Wen is taking leave right as school starts. The department head assigned his classes to Zhang Hao, who whines about how much extra work this is. He acts like it is a massive burden, which our guy honestly never intended. Everyone needs time off occasionally, plus this was fully approved by the school administration anyway. Our main character tells him directly that he did not personally dump these classes on him. He had no idea the director would choose him and offers to ask other teachers instead. But Zhang Hao snaps, claiming our guy is doing this on purpose just to spite him.
Zhang Hao thinks our guy took leave just to avoid covering his upcoming paternity leave, which is crazy. He even accuses our guy of using connections to secretly sneak away and dump his classes.
Our guy is completely speechless. Since when did he use connections just to mess with this dude? The sheer audacity of this colleague to throw wild accusations without knowing any facts is actually crazy. Later, his mother-in-law checks in on him after seeing the grandmother get discharged. Our guy decides to vent to his mother-in-law about the absolute nonsense he just dealt with. He explains how Zhang Hao called him out of nowhere with all these toxic, completely baseless accusations. The guy literally acted like our main character was personally targeting him. Who does he think he is? The mother-in-law gets instant protective boss energy, angry that someone would disrespect her son-in-law. She promises to handle this personally and get him the justice he deserves. She immediately calls the school dean, Old Shu, and scolds him for handling this so poorly.
She complains that because of his lack of discretion, the entire school is gossiping about her son-in-law.
They think he used high-level connections to get his time off. Plus, why would the dean even dump his classes onto a teacher about to take paternity leave? She tells him she is not trying to ask for special treatment, but there are circumstances. Her daughter finally got married, so the newlyweds desperately need some quiet time to build their relationship. Otherwise, how are they going to start a family when they are still sleeping in separate rooms? If she does not step in to help them, nobody will. Alright, so the wealthy mother-in-law literally flexes their massive $50 million school donation just to get her son-in-law some leave. She is basically like, just give the 2 substitute teachers a fat bonus and call it a day. Is it really that hard? Just fix the schedule. Don't worry, Principal Shu is on it. Our main character Chen used to hate people using connections. But if it means getting a peaceful 1-month break, he is totally fine looking the other way. He even plans to bring the substitute teacher some nice gifts later to show some real appreciation. The next day, Chen offers to take his mother-in-law out for a nice walk since the weather is perfect. She happily agrees, noting that a cloudy day with absolutely no harsh sun is the best time to stroll. It turns out the Fu family ancestral estate is situated in an incredibly peaceful area. It is quiet, yet super close to schools and hospitals. As they wander, Chen gently holds the old lady's arm, keeping her company down the path. While walking down the scenic route, she suddenly turns to him and calls out his name. She drops a bomb, saying she already knows he and Fu Yunshu sleep in completely separate rooms.
She assumes it is all Fu Yunshu's fault, since she has been so busy lately.
Since she just got discharged from the hospital, she promises to handle things when Fu Yunshu arrives tonight. She is ready to give her daughter a serious lecture because sleeping separately after marriage is just wild. She commands that they both stay over tonight and share Fu Yunshu's old bedroom. Chen panics internally because he actually wants this arrangement, and the original body owner requested it first. If they blame Fu Yunshu now, his entire transmigration cover will literally blow up the second she returns. But the mother-in-law totally misinterprets his tense silence as him just being way too nice. She thinks he is just being shy, so she promises to force her daughter to apologize tonight. Chen quickly steps in, saying there is no need since they only met once before getting married. He explains they can just take things slow since she is busy, so an apology is definitely unnecessary. He adds that Fu Yunshu has done nothing wrong, but his mother-in-law instantly shoots that excuse down. She sighs, admitting they are just getting way too old. They really want grandchildren running around, and a grandkid would keep his father-in-law from traveling all the time.
It is basically because their biological clocks are ticking, otherwise they would never pressure them like this.
She explains they used to be super open-minded parents who only cared about their children being happy.
But getting older makes them feel like there is unfinished business left in their lives.
It leaves them feeling a bit regretful because even though they do not have a royal throne to inherit,
They have a massive family fortune that absolutely cannot be handed over to greedy outsiders.
Honestly, she is right. The Fu family is legendary.
There is a mountain of assets to protect, and since the elders only have one daughter, they naturally have to worry about the future of their entire lineage. But here is the major plot twist. In the original novel, this entire fortune gets stolen by the second branch.
Chen nods, saying he understands, while his mother-in-law clarifies she is not forcing a decision right now.
She just wants him to take the marriage seriously, since nobody gets married just to end up divorced.
a real husband and wife have to work together and adapt to each other to survive. She tells him bluntly that they absolutely must have a child to protect their legacy.
Too many greedy relatives are eyeing their massive fortune.
After all, she and her husband built this entire massive business empire from scratch. She mentions that Fu Yunshu actually loved cooking with her grandfather and dreamed of becoming a chef.
But her father shut that dream down instantly and gave her a harsh reality check. Since then, her father kept her away from cooking and constantly drilled business knowledge into her brain. It was all to prepare her to inherit the family, which honestly breaks her mother's heart.
This is his burden to carry. Our main character just sits there quietly, letting the old lady finish.
Her mind is a complete mess right now.
According to her, the family business was actually built from scratch by Fu Yunshu and the grandfather.
So did it really fall to his cousin later just because there was no one else left? That is wild. No wonder he looked so down at the food stalls when she brought up his grandfather.
Talk about childhood trauma? That is probably the real reason Fu Yunshu does not want kids at all. Still, our girl tells his mother she totally gets it. They just got married and need time to adjust. After all, you cannot just rush into having a baby.
Neither of them is ready for the bedroom yet, but the mother reveals she has already checked their medical reports.
Both are perfectly healthy and young, like dry wood and fire.
They should have kids. Seeing that the old lady is not playing around,
Our main character goes completely mute. That night, Fu Yunshu is called back home.
The mom tells them to go to their room and build some chemistry, even if they just chat.
Not wanting to upset his mother, Fu Yunshu stands up and signals her to head back to the bedroom.
Once inside, she casually plops down on the sofa.
Scrolling through her phone, she cannot stop thinking about what just went down after dinner.
The old lady scolded Fu Yunshu, saying he shouldn't have left his bride alone on their wedding night. Surprisingly, Fu Yunshu did not even try to deny it or show any emotion.
He just took it quietly. Honestly, she doubts he would actually care.
Or blame her for suggesting separate rooms. Suddenly, Fu Yunshu asks if his mother talked to her a lot.
Our girl nods, saying they went for a walk and had a long chat. Best to skip the baby talk. Fu Yunshu asks if she told his mom that he neglected her. She defends herself, saying the mom assumed it, but he points out she didn't correct her.
He asks what her plan is now. Should they go back to separate rooms?
Or start fulfilling their marital duties? At this point, our girl thinks, why not?
She has never even dated in her past life, let alone done anything physical. Since Fu Yunshu is absolute eye candy, why would she say no? They can totally skip having kids. But the intimate life is a green light, as long as they use protection.
Fu Yunshu scoffs, realizing his mother even told her about inheriting the family fortune.
He asks if she wants a kid just to secure her status. She quickly denies that.
She explains she was only talking about their marital duties, but then she panics and backtracks.
She offers to sleep on the sofa today so they do not have to share a room.
She adds that she already told the mom there is no rush. Internally, she is screaming with regret.
She totally exposed her own thirsty side. Fu Yunshu states he has no baby plans for the next 2 years.
He adds that he never wanted separate rooms in the first place, but was just respecting her choice.
he tells her there is no need to force herself just to please his mother.
He hates forcing her into marital duties. As for their marriage,
She does not need to worry. This alliance between the Guan and Fu families is purely about business.
Hearing his cold analysis makes her head spin. Honestly, she only transmigrated here to enjoy life.
She just wants to live in the moment. It is not about the old lady forcing them.
She says she was just chatting with his mother and thought she made some good points.
If he wants to misunderstand, there is nothing she can do. Besides, fulfilling marital duties
Isn't something they can avoid forever unless they get a divorce. They cannot just have a sexless marriage. She wonders if he is being real or just brushing her off. Seeing him stare at her without blinking, she steels herself to make her next move.
He straight up scoops her into his arms, carries her over, and gently places her on the bed.
Noticing how stiff and tense she is, he softly tells her to relax.
He promised he won't touch her.
They just wash up and sleep, but when he wakes up the next morning, she's already gone. After washing up, he goes downstairs to find Grandma asking about his night.
He says he slept great, so Grandma points out it's Saturday and tells them to go on a date.
She mentions they own a beautiful scenic resort and wants Yunshu to take him there. Since the old lady is getting up there in age, Chen rarely goes against her wishes. As long as she's happy, he's down to do pretty much anything. He used to think nobody could ever force someone as cold as Yunshu to do anything.
But she's actually incredibly filial, and he low-key envies their sweet family dynamic.
Watching the passing scenery, Chen starts drifting into his memories, and man, his backstory is pretty sad.
The host's parents only texted him once right after the wedding.
They told him the distance was too far to bring his new wife home, then basically ghosted. Deep down, he really craves family, but the original host's parents divorced ages ago. The host grew up super independent, which actually worked out when Chen was bored one day. Tallying up his wedding inheritance, it's worth over $100 million. And that's not just cash. We're talking tons of real estate and company shares, too. Even without relying on the Fu family, he could easily live a worry-free life forever. So even if the host wasn't close with them, they still hooked him up big time. His real-life parents, though, truly a night and day difference.
They wouldn't even pay for his college, forcing him to work odd jobs to afford it all.
He even had to send them money, lost in his thoughts. He doesn't even notice that the car is pulled into the resort parking lot until Yunshu speaks up. He snaps out of it as she tells him they've arrived. He should just be grateful for this comfortable new life as they step out and see huge trees.
He snaps a photo while she talks to the ticket booth staff. Suddenly, someone calls out to them as sister and brother-in-law, making him blink in surprise. Turns out it's her cousin, Fu Jingwei from the second branch.
Though, to be exact, he's actually an adopted son, which the original novel did mention. Adopted at 6 after a family tragedy, he is the family darling. Since he's the youngest and super adorable, even the older generation in the family dotes on him. Spoiled by everyone, she asks him how work is going.
He loves it.
The busy summer rush just ended, so it's been great.
He's just incredibly grateful that she spoke to his dad to secure this amazing job.
She's just glad he likes it.
Since she and her husband came to look around, Jingwei eagerly offers to show them the place.
He is totally free to guide his favorite sister and brother-in-law. He tells them they should go on dates more often.
Otherwise, no shot they would hang out.
They listen to his fun tours as they roll past stunning views. He points out all the people setting up tents and having a blast in the camping zones. Jingwei highly recommends they stay in the awesome tree houses tonight.
Perfect for stargazing and catching fireflies.
Is this for real? Look at this gorgeous wooden treehouse. You can walk up the stairs, slide right down, and it even has a swing. There is a huge window with beautiful wind chimes gently swaying. If they actually get to stay here, he's going to be in pure heaven. Of course you can, Fu Jingwei laughs. This place is literally ours. You can pick whichever room you want, brother-in-law. Just make yourself at home. They decide to stay, and Fu Jingwei promises it is cleaned daily. He promises to send up some extra goodies, giving our guy a cheeky wink. Wait, that cheeky look was highly suspicious, but they keep exploring the estate. Soon, lunch is served. But Fu Jingwei has to bail early for an afternoon meeting. He assures them everything is set up for their nap. Go ahead, our MC says. We will explore on our own. Walking behind him, Fu Yunshu smiles softly as she gets lost in her memories. Growing up, her life was nothing but study, sleep, and cramming.
Or working. She always felt left out.
She envied kids who watched movies or went on vacations with family.
Normal teenage things she missed.
Honestly, it is low-key heartbreaking that she had zero fond memories before turning 18.
Her father handed over the entire company early, burying her in pure pressure.
Only recently, with 2 top-tier assistants under her, could she finally breathe. That's why she can occasionally step away to relax now. And a real trip with family? This is literally her first time.
Family. The word warms her. Hey, Fu Yunshu, unlock the door!
Our MC is eager to check out the room with the keys Fu Jingwei left. He wonders why she is lagging, but man, her smile is absolutely stunning.
Once they unlock the door, a massive, luxurious bed welcomes them. It looks incredibly soft, so he walks over to inspect. He spots 2 fresh sets of pajamas and a mysterious little box nearby. This is definitely Fu Jingwei's doing. No wonder he was winking earlier.
Talk about a wingman. This kid is a walking cheat code for romance. Fu Yunshu notices the box too, trying her absolute best to act cool. But those blushing cheeks totally give her away as she tells him to shower first.
Our guy is completely hit by a carb coma after that heavy lunch. Combined with the early morning wake-up call, he is completely exhausted now.
He grabs his pajamas, heads into the shower, and steps back out.
Fu Yunshu is sitting on the couch reading. He asks if she wants a nap. She tells him to sleep first, so he happily face-plants onto the bed. He immediately passes out, and a freshly showered Fu Yunshu lies down beside him. Suddenly, he rolls over, and his leg almost drapes right over her.
Fu Yunshu lets out a soft sigh, slips out of bed, and reads. Waking up on the far edge, he sleepily calls out her name. She opens her eyes, and he asks if he crowded her too much. He offers to have Fu Jingwei get her a separate room, but she refuses. She says a stable public marriage is simply better for their business interests. After all, any bad rumors could tank the company stock. You have to be careful in public. That night, Chen lay in bed. She asked Fu Yunshu if he knew which stars made up the Big Dipper. He said yes, and just 10 minutes later, something amazing happened. The resort manager sent over a telescope, and Fu Yunshu set it all up. He called her over to look, and she gasped at how incredibly clear and beautiful it was. It was stunning. He pointed out Orion. Pointing out the 3 stars forming the belt, she thanked Fu Yunshu. She got to see the most gorgeous starry sky ever. She praised how good-looking he was. The next morning, Fu Jingwei joined her for breakfast. Fu Jingwei winked playfully, asking if last night was a total success. Chen sipped her milk, acting clueless, while Fu Jingwei just smirked. He teased that with such a romantic night and cozy cabin, surely they did something. He asked if they used his special gifts, but they were just too exhausted. They just showered and went straight to sleep after walking around all day. Who has energy for anything else? Though Chen actually took a cold shower first. When she got out, Fu Yunshu was on his laptop working late after an assistant called. Meanwhile, she spent the night stargazing through the telescope. Talk about a plot twist. Fu Jingwei sighed, wishing he had helped them bond. But to Chen, that evening was already unforgettable. Fu Yunshu told her his mother was staying with friends for a few days. This meant she did not need to visit the old mansion. The matriarch was so independent. Even with a broken arm, nothing was keeping her cooped up inside. After resting for 2 days, Chen got restless and needed something to do besides studying. The original owner of her body used to exercise, and she loved tennis. She decided to find a tennis partner, and right then, her phone rang. Her friend cried out for help because her kid had finally gone to school. She was so bored she felt like she was gonna rot. Seeing Chen's vacation post had made her incredibly jealous. But with her kid home over the weekend, she had been totally trapped. Chen laughed. Of course her friend was just being dramatic. Talk about perfect timing. She asked her friend if she wanted to play tennis. Her friend agreed immediately, noting her house had a private court with 0 distractions. They could play however they wanted, so Chen agreed to head over right away. Finding both a court and a partner was a win, especially since Ren Lei lived nearby. It was only a 30-minute drive, so she planned to have Uncle Lu drop her off. But looking through her closet, she could not find any activewear. Right, the original owner hated working out, so there were no sports clothes. She had Uncle Liu take her to the mall to buy 2 comfortable tennis outfits first. After that, she arrived at Ren Lei's house, starting their match with some gentle rallies. Ren Lei smirked, warning her that this was just the warm-up before the real challenge. After an intense session, Renly asked who taught her how to play so well. Did she hire a private coach? Chen searched the original owner's memories.
The original owner had joined a university tennis club and played for a bit. She had not been very passionate back then, but it did not even matter now. Alright, so the original host was loaded, so hiring a coach was easy. Nobody would ever suspect him or wonder when he learned tennis in college.
Renly is super impressed, calling his form clean and textbook.
He even promises to show him the video, hyping up how cool he looked.
Essentially, while Chen was on his way over, Renly sent him a quick text.
The influencer had asked if he could post the tennis footage online, and Chen happily agreed without even thinking twice. So the camera was rolling the moment Chen walked in, and after playing, they took a quick break.
They showered, changed their clothes, and chilled on the couch to review the new tennis footage together. Renly starts fanboying, calling him a total youthful campus heartthrob while endlessly praising his fit body.
Just look at those long legs and perfectly toned muscles. Who wouldn't be jealous?
He sighs, thinking how great it is to be both young and incredibly loaded. With that kind of money, you can literally buy whatever your heart desires.
You get to swim, hit the gym, and hire personal trainers? No wonder his body is literally built different.
Chen quickly compliments him back, saying Renly is actually quite handsome himself.
He laughs, pointing out how rugged and manly Renly is. A playful remark about experiencing his rugged vibe follows, completely unaware that the recording equipment was still turned on.
The camera recorded everything, and after having a quick lunch at Renly's place, Chen headed back home.
After taking a peaceful afternoon nap, Chen woke up to find his phone practically exploding with notifications. We are talking full-on 99 plus unread messages.
Opening the app, he gets absolutely overwhelmed by the endless wave of DMs and comments.
Turns out the second Chen left, Renly edited the video and posted it online.
Renly had tagged Chen's account, showing the truly insane power of an influencer with tens of millions of loyal followers.
The young professor actually went completely viral overnight, with people begging to get in touch. Fans were sliding into his DMs, begging him to post more of his daily life.
They wanted some serious eye candy, completely obsessing over how incredible his physique looks.
Others begged him to share his workout routine, and even asked for links to his tennis outfit.
The messages were flooding in way too fast, with fans asking which brand of clothes he was wearing.
They wanted to buy it for their boyfriends, when Renly called.
Renly asks if he saw the video, hyping him up about going viral.
Chen admits he was totally startled by the traffic, having never seen so many people on his profile before. Mentioning that people are even asking for outfit links, Chen watches as Renly quickly apologizes.
His friend asks if the sudden internet attention is causing him any trouble, offering to delete the post if he's uncomfortable.
Waving it off, he sparks a brilliant idea. Chen wonders if he should start his own fashion or fitness channel, since short videos are absolutely booming right now. Honestly, he wants to experience it himself, and Renly is completely supportive of the plan. His friend eagerly assures him that with those visuals, his follower count is bound to skyrocket in no time. With his friend's enthusiastic backing, Haicheng gets ready to go all out on his new venture. Meanwhile, over at the corporate office, Fuji Group's big boss, Fu Yunshu, just finished his meeting.
As he steps out of the elevator and walks down the hallway,
the boss overhears the secretaries in the office excitedly gossiping about Renly's newly updated viral video. They are absolutely losing their minds over how handsome Renly's tennis partner is in the comments section. Word is, the guy is a university teacher, making him even more attractive. Apparently, Renly tagged his personal account, but his profile is completely blank and has nothing on it.
The entire comment section is flooded with endless questions asking if Chen has a girlfriend yet.
But Renly shut them down, replying that he is married, leaving everyone wondering who the lucky partner is.
Did you see his tennis outfit? It is the newest release from the luxury brand Haicheng, and everyone is staring.
His physique is insane, and fans are already betting he has got a six-pack.
everyone is jealous of his friends, and some comments claim this handsome guy is actually a university teacher.
Back in his office at Jin University, Fu Yunshu hears the gossip and decides to investigate.
He digs up an app he barely uses and logs in.
When Wang Yu and Renly first started their channel, they spammed the group chat asking for followers. Fu Yunshu followed them back then with a burner account and forgot the app even existed.
The viral clip is super easy to spot because of the cover. It is just a picture of them playing tennis, so he hits play.
Fu Yunshu does not even realize his eyes are completely glued to Chen the entire time.
That night, Chen is chilling on the couch when Fu Yunshu walks in with a question. Fu Yunshu asks if Chen would mind him filming at home, which totally catches Chen off guard. He is bored staying home all month and wants to try something new. Fu Yunshu supports him, but warns him to prepare for the inevitable internet haters.
He tells Chen not to stress, since their family certainly does not need the extra money.
But Fu Yunshu stops himself, realizing that might sound a bit disrespectful to Chen. Chen knows his husband is just caring for him, so he treats it as a hobby. He is not going to stress himself out. Since making money is not the goal, Chen can keep the filming process totally casual.
He can take his time writing good scripts and learning the ropes of editing. That is how you make quality content. Then Fu Yunshu asks about his hangout with Renlei. Chen is surprised he saw the video, worrying Fu Yunshu thinks he is just chasing cheap clout. Fu Yunshu explains he heard his office staff gossiping about the video earlier that day. He clicked on it, but reading those comments did not exactly make him happy. Seeing all these random people online judging his gorgeous partner made him pretty protective. Who would not feel jealous? Anyway, Renlei had sent his kid to daycare. Being bored at home, he called Chen, who was already dying to play tennis. They hit it off immediately, and honestly, it was great.
Renlei has a massive court, and they played all morning.
It was a blast, and now Fu Yunshu asks Chen if he truly loves tennis.
Chen says he picked it up back in college, but stopped during grad school.
Now that he finally has some free time, he wants to pick it back up.
He asks Fu Yunshu how his own tennis skills are, hoping they can play together.
Since Wang Yu is also good, they could easily set up a double date. Fu Yunshu promises he can teach him if needed. Meanwhile, the tennis video Renlei posted is absolutely blowing up online. As the views climb, curious fans start clicking over to Chen's blank profile. They get a huge surprise when Chen drops his very first video just 2 hours later. Views hit 6 figures and his follower count absolutely explodes. Chen has basically cracked the algorithm, and hiring that personal trainer was worth every single penny. He filmed his first workout session sharing simple tips directly from the private gym. The moves are easy to follow, and the sleek aesthetic makes the video look top tier. He even took online classes to master filming and editing.
The whole creative process gives him a massive sense of accomplishment.
Then Chen gets a sudden phone call from his mother, Liang Xinru. Alright, so our main character's mom calls him up, super confused about why he is suddenly making videos instead of working. She says his mother-in-law got him a whole month off. She complains that he used to use the long distance as an excuse, but now that he has got the time off, he still hasn't visited. This makes our guy realize something. He honestly thought the original owner was totally estranged from his family, which is why they never reached out. Because of that, he never bothered calling them first, but this sudden phone call completely changes the vibe. Hearing her genuine concern low-key hits him right in the feels. He decides to go visit. Since he transmigrated, why not? He resolves to treat them like actual family. His mom wraps up, telling him to just come home. She wants him to stay for a few days so she can whip up his favorite home-cooked meals.
He promises to visit as soon as he runs it by his husband, Fu Yunshu.
Next comes some classic, heartfelt, motherly advice.
She clarifies she isn't trying to stop his video hobby, but she's worried about the online hate.
Since their family never hid his wealthy background, she warns him that internet sleuths will dox him in seconds. They will dig up his entire life. He needs a game plan. He reassures her that he knows what he's doing. An elite young master like him has absolutely no dirty laundry or scandals for anyone to expose. So he has absolutely nothing to fear. He even looked up his grandparents, 3 generations of immaculate reputations, so their slate is squeaky clean. Plus, with attention being currency nowadays, he might even bring some major traffic to the family business. He might even score a bigger cut of the family dividends, and then boom, his dad calls him next. His dad supports him. Do whatever you want, son. He tells him to chase his dreams, and if any trouble pops up, he just needs to let his dad know. His dad will handle it. Talk about a perfect safety net. Honestly, the author cooked here. This family is so sweet. Next, his older sister chimes in, praising his video-making skills and asking when he will promote their products.
He jokingly replies that they definitely do not need him for marketing.
His small-time traffic is nothing compared to those massive A-list celebrities.
Those big stars pull in crazy numbers. He isn't going to embarrass himself. But his sister is a total boss, telling him she can protect his personal info.
She already had her team secure his data so nobody can dox him, earning a huge thank you.
Right after that, his friend Xiao Yunju invites him out for hot pot.
He lets Auntie Jiang know he's eating out and texts Fu Yunshu to head home early too.
At the restaurant, his friend tells him to take a seat.
He ordered both of their favorites, but notices our guy has massive dark circles.
Xia Yunzhou sighs, explaining that his newborn sleep regression is keeping him up all night.
He, his mom, and the nanny have been taking turns pulling all-nighters.
Thankfully, his wife finally got back today, taking over baby duty so he could escape.
That's the only reason he's even free to grab hot pot.
Our MC asks if every single baby goes through this stage. His friend explains it depends on the kid. Some are just high need.
He and his wife are absolutely never having a second child. Then he asks why our MC hasn't gone on his honeymoon yet.
His husband's company is too busy, plus traveling together right now is kind of awkward. This cracks his friend up completely. What could possibly be awkward about a honeymoon? The friend literally asks if they haven't done anything yet, completely forgetting they are in a public hot pot spot.
She's like, relax, we aren't at your place. Who's even listening to our conversation anyway?
She warns him that living like roommates in a marriage of convenience is a major red flag.
At this point, our guy can only admit they have at least kissed. Seriously, we need real progress. Lately, she just stays in the kitchen after dinner, and by the time she returns, he's already fast asleep. Ever since their trip, she's low-key avoiding him, and running off to the kitchen right after dinner makes zero sense.
The friend tells him to just stay awake and wait for her, but they decide to drop it and eat. When the husband gets home, the maid, Aunt Zhang, tells him she prepared some coffee for his wife.
He wonders why she's drinking caffeine so late, and Aunt Zhang explains the lady ordered it. Apparently, she has an international meeting tonight that is going to run super late.
Aunt Zhang asks him to bring it up, but he tells her to take the coffee away. He decides to warm up a glass of milk for his wife instead.
He walks into Fu Yunshu's study to give her the milk, and she's surprised to see him. He explains he just got back and ran into Aunt Zhang trying to deliver the coffee.
He tells her she should avoid caffeine at night, so he took the liberty of swapping it for milk.
Fu Yunshu thanks her sweet husband and immediately invites him to share some cake with her.
He asks where she got it, and she says she just grabbed it on her way home.
Since the downstairs fridge was packed with food, she brought the cake up to her room.
She mentions this is actually the first time she's ever kept a cake in this mini fridge. It used to be strictly for drinks, but tonight she just really wanted to share a sweet treat with him.
He agrees, joking that he is willing to break his diet just to keep her company.
He teases that his daily workout is totally ruined now, but he's still definitely going to eat.
She tells him to take the first bite, and he admits he's completely distracted by her beauty.
He can't even tell if the cake is good or if it just tastes better when she feeds him.
He offers to leave so she can start her meeting, but suddenly she gets a shocking phone call.
It turns out her cousin Fu Nian just beat someone up and is currently locked in a police station.
She immediately tells her assistant to handle the big meeting and tells him not to worry. She tells him to head to bed without waiting up, while he reminds her to stay safe.
Back in his room, he's wide awake, thinking about Fu Nian, the second aunt's daughter.
She's also Fu Yunshu's cousin, and the future heir in the original novel he transmigrated into.
He starts digging for info on her online and actually stumbles upon her personal social media account. Honestly, she seems like a super bubbly and energetic girl in all of her videos.
She gets along great with the factory workers, and one video has a funny comment from her friend.
Her friend teases her about working at the family factory, saying Fu Yunshu will definitely reward her. They joke about her getting promoted to headquarters soon, but she replies that she loves the factory.
It really makes her happy, showing she's actually a very down-to-earth and hard-working college graduate.
He recalls a major plot point from the novel where she holds a meeting for her staff.
She mentions starting from the very bottom at the factory before working in every single department. This means Fu Yunshu gave her absolutely zero shortcuts or special privileges after she graduated. She had to earn her stripes from the ground up, and honestly, the second aunt's family seems great. Fu Xinghei and Fu Nianian both seem cool, leaving only Fu Yunshu's mysterious second uncle left to meet.
But then, rookie mistake. He accidentally likes her post and instantly freezes in absolute panic.
Fu Nianian probably saw the notification and immediately told Fu Yunshu, who texts him to not worry. She explains her cousin was just defending herself, so he tells her to get home safely.
By the time she finally gets back, he is still wide awake, having completely missed his sleep window. She texts him asking why he's still awake reading web novels.
What even happened tonight? Turns out it was nothing too crazy. By the time she finished showering, Aachen was already asleep on his stomach, with Fu Yunshu lying right beside him.
He probably got uncomfortable sleeping on his stomach because he rolled over in his sleep. He rolled right onto Fu Yunshu's soft body, and the sudden contact woke him up instantly. Staring at her face so close to his, he could feel her warmth. Catching the scent of her body wash instantly reminded him of that unforgettable kiss they shared. Instead of rushing in for a kiss, he decided to quietly watch her reaction. Seeing her face slowly flush red, his own heart started beating pretty fast. They just stared at each other, and honestly, the bedroom tension here is actually crazy. He leaned in slowly and kissed her gently before waking up the next morning. The woman next to him was already gone, so he checked his phone.
It was already 10 a.m. and she had texted saying she went to work. He smiled gently and texted back a simple okay. He told her to rest up right when a video call from the old lady came through.
He greeted his mom, who immediately apologized for waking him up. He told her he just woke up anyway and asked if she was home. She said she got back this morning and told him to visit for lunch. She brought them tons of gifts, and soon he was stepping into the old family courtyard. He saw the old lady chatting with a man and decided to walk closer. He realized it was actually Fu Yunshu's second uncle, noting he was there too. The uncle explained he heard his mom was back and visited before returning to Haicheng. He asked why Aachen was not at work, but the old lady chimed in. She explained she requested a month off for Aachen so they could go on a honeymoon. But since she broke her arm, the sweet couple insisted on staying to help.
They did not travel, but the time off was already approved.
So she told Aachen to rest up at home because his teaching schedule would be insanely busy once he went back. The uncle agreed, saying his own son Xinghei felt the exact same way about having zero free time. Work is just exhausting, so the uncle decided to let them chat and take his leave. He said he was heading back to Haicheng today, and she wished him a safe trip. Aachen offered to walk his second uncle out, who then mentioned hearing that he taught auditing. He confirmed it, and the uncle praised auditing as a field with a great future. The uncle asked why he had not joined a top firm, saying he had great options. He told Aachen he could literally choose any firm, but our boy modestly laughed it off. Plus, those firms are way too hectic, and he really wanted a more relaxed lifestyle. Honestly, a regression MC wanting a simple life instead of the hustle? I respect that. Back then, he could not even land an internship, but he knew how brutal it was. He knew the crushing workload, so in this life, he wanted something different. He just wanted to be a down-to-earth teacher, and the uncle agreed that was a solid career. The uncle did not say anything else, got into his car, and drove off. Watching the car disappear, Aachen walked back inside, with his mind still racing over his second uncle's words. Once he stepped inside, the old lady took his hand and warned him to always watch his back around his second uncle. She said the uncle was way too cunning, acting nice but stabbing people in the back. He definitely had to be careful, as she recalled when she and her husband first started their business. The grandfather had given them startup capital back then, and Fu Jingwei always thought it was favoritism. He also grabbed a lump sum of money, trying to copy our business. When we actually succeeded, he claimed the old man secretly funded us behind his back. He even demanded half our company while the old man was incredibly sick. Your father did not want a family feud to ruin his father's final moments. So he handed over half, but then, get this, the uncle turned around. He immediately transferred all those assets to Haicheng and went completely independent. He wanted to prove he was better, but so many years have passed. His company is still totally struggling, and his sudden visit today is just to pressure me into making Fu Yunshu hand over prime projects. He acts totally calm on the outside, but he is incredibly calculating. This second uncle is honestly a piece of work. Why give him anything? Back then, he wanted to push Xinghei into the Fuxi Group headquarters, but Xinghei refused, so Yunshu arranged for him to work at the resort. Just now, his words were dripping with sarcasm about his son being busy.
He is complaining that Yunshu did not put Xinghei in the main office. He even complained when Nianyan was just interning, showing how petty he is.
Honestly, I am tired of talking about him, so let's move on.
Just keep your guard up. Anyway, my close friend's son works in auctions.
I bought a few items at his auction yesterday. Go ahead and open this box.
Keep them safe and wear them whenever you get a nice chance.
If not, just collect them, since they will definitely hold their value.
It is so obvious she genuinely loves Neonyin, praising her for being sweet.
But do not spend all day with me. Go out and enjoy your life. All right, you get some rest at home, and I will visit tomorrow.
Soon after, she decides to practice driving so she can commute on her own. Unfortunately, she barely leaves the driveway before some guy rear-ends her car. He instantly jumps out, yelling at her for not knowing how to drive.
But the moment she gets out, the guy suddenly starts flirting instead.
He offers to settle privately and pay for repairs, but she barely felt it. Feeling completely fine, she ignores his cheap attempts and inspects the damage.
Seeing a huge dent on the bumper, she shuts down any private deal. She demands they call the police and let the traffic cops handle it. Honestly, private settlements are always a trap. She is making the right call. The police arrive quickly and instruct them to move to a safer spot. While they are waiting, a sleek black car suddenly pulls up right there. Yunshu rushes out, asking if she is okay, and she reassures him. She tells him the police have it covered, wondering how he even knew.
He admits that Xinghei told him and he was too worried to wait.
Fu Xinghei really cannot keep a secret, but honestly, we love the speed.
She only mentioned it in passing, but he immediately called Fu Yunshu.
She tells him it is fine and he did not need to rush.
He ignores her protests, telling her to just get in his car.
He orders Butler Joe to handle the rest as the police finish up. Seeing her hesitation, he suggests that Uncle Yu should drive her from now.
Having Fu Yunshu worry this much about her is actually so adorable.
Honestly, our guy knows his driving is straight trash, so he decides to play it safe and stay off the road.
Alright, so it is another weekend, and after that phone call his mom made to him last time,
he and Fu Yunshu had already agreed to travel back to Haicheng together, bringing along tons of expensive gifts.
First stop is his biological mom Liang Xinru's house. Just as they step into the yard, they hear a crisp young girl's voice inside, pleading with someone to finally unfreeze her credit card.
She insists that she learned her lesson and will absolutely never do again.
This is Gu Qingyan, a high school freshman and the daughter of the original owner's biological mom and stepdad. She is super rebellious, and he remembers her constantly texting him just to demand cash in the past.
He once sent her 5,000 yuan, but she complained it was too little, so he completely stopped.
He told her to ask her dad, so who knows what kind of trouble she has caused now.
The butler announces that young Master Chen and the young mistress are back, making Gu Qingyan perk up immediately.
Stepdad warmly welcomes them home, mentioning that their mom went out to play a game of mahjong. While he offers to call her back, Gu Qingyan immediately starts whining that her dad is being way too biased. She grumbles that he pulls a long face for her, but the second her brother returns, he smiles so wide that all his wrinkles show, even though she's the actual biological daughter. Stepdad does not even hide his bias, telling her if she behaved as well as her brother,
He would smile at her too. She ignores him and quickly begs Fu Yunshu for a favor. When asked what she needs, she straight up begs for cash, and Fu Yunshu casually taps on her phone.
Boom! Alipay alerts a transfer of 100,000 yuan. Stepdad completely loses his cool. He demands to know who sent that fortune, and she happily gloats that her sister-in-law did.
With cash in hand, she quickly runs off, prompting Chen to ask his stepdad what kind of mess she made. Stepdad sighs and explains she talked back to her grade director, which he only heard from her classmates. Honestly, this girl causes absolute chaos every single day, so the poor guy has to go apologize to her director on Monday.
Just then, his mother, Liang Xinru, returns. At this point, this is our first time seeing her. She is stunningly beautiful, and you would seriously never guess that she is already in her 50s. She mentioned she expected them much later, but Chen explains that their flight landed 30 minutes ahead of schedule.
Since they got back early, his mom excitedly drags him upstairs to show off all the gifts she bought for him. She leaves Fu Yunshu to chat with the stepdad and pulls her son away to check out the hall.
She proudly shows him what she bought during her trip to France, and he warmly thanks her.
She laughs softly, teasing that he is already so grown up, but still acts like a sweet kid.
She sighs that he never liked to speak up about his struggles, even keeping school issues to himself as a child.
He was always so stubborn and independent, which always worried her.
She asks if Fu Yunshu ever makes him angry, but he quickly says she is absolutely wonderful. He insists he is doing great, and she smiles, admitting she just wanted to make sure his married life is happy.
She warns him to never keep things bottled up inside and to always talk to her if something happens.
He tells her to relax because everyone has been treating him well and he is genuinely living his best life.
She is relieved, but she notes that marriage has low-key turned him into a completely different person.
In the past, he would never sit and chat with her, probably getting annoyed and telling her to stop asking questions.
He definitely was not like this before, but he smiles, saying marriage changes people. His whole mindset has shifted, and since it was so hard for him to finally make this trip back home, he naturally wanted to have a proper heart-to-heart with his mom, making her feel incredibly proud of her boy.
She happily urges him to try on the clothes and jewelry, adding that she bought plenty of stuff for Fu Yunshu too.
She insists they take it all back with them, then calls out to her husband.
She offers to cook lunch and asks what everyone wants, but stepdad jokingly asks if she still does not know his favorites.
He tells her to ask the kids instead, while she lovingly asks what they would like to have.
Easy there, don't throw your back out. No way, aren't you here to support me? Ugh, this PDA is literally feeding me. I can skip lunch now. Well, you and your wife could do it too.
Wei Chen freezes and glances at Fu Yunshu, totally not expecting him to look straight back. The vibe gets low-key awkward, so he quickly yells, "Mom, I want sweet and sour ribs!" Plus that steamed fish. Honestly, their family dynamic is so wholesome as they head to the kitchen.
Later, when Chen asks what he discussed with his dad, "It was just some business," Fu Yunshu replies. "What kind of business?" "Theoretically, since our marriage is just a political alliance, it only involves the Wen and Fu family's interests, not some random outsiders."
Besides, their families do not even have any joint projects yet. What could they possibly discuss?
So curious. Fu Yunshu sighs. Dad told me to watch out for second uncle. He bumped into second uncle in Haicheng recently, secretly meeting up with one of our suppliers.
That specific supplier has a massive long-term contract with Fu Corporation, so please do not mention this to a single soul.
It could seriously tank Fu Corporation's stock.
Wen Chen nods. I get it. Don't worry. I will not tell anyone. Last time we ran into second uncle at the family estate, Mom also warned me we need to watch our backs. Fu Yunshu replies, "Do not worry." Fu Yunshu promises to investigate. But wait, Wen Chen suddenly remembers a major car crash from the novel. He asks Fu Yunshu if second uncle would actually commit major crimes just to secure his business. You noticed too? When my dad crossed paths with him in Haicheng, he was secretly meeting our core supplier, who controls the most vital production line. That is not all. Mom actually told me something else before. When you guys started from scratch, second uncle threw a huge fit over dividing the assets. Now he is secretly contacting our people. He is clearly aiming to take down Fu Corporation for good. Honestly, I did not want to assume the absolute worst, but his shady moves are getting too obvious to ignore. This is way too dangerous. Fu Yunshu warns him not to get directly involved in this. I am terrified he will target you, Wen Chen replies, but I am your husband. Mom treats me like real family. How could I ever let you handle this completely alone? We will face this together. Worst case, we will just have Uncle Liu drive us everywhere. Nothing bad will happen. Fu Yunshu smiles. All right, I will listen to you. After staying in Haicheng for 2 more days, Mom pulls them aside. Yunshu has crazy work pressure. You must make sure he eats his meals on time. Do not let him just survive on coffee. Wen Chen smiles. I got it, Mom. I will monitor him every single day to ensure he eats and drinks well. If that shady second uncle Fu Jingwei makes even the slightest suspicious move, you call me immediately. Our family still have some solid connections in Jing City that can help out. Wen Chen nods, then the younger sibling begs, "Brother-in-law, bring me some sweet treats next time, okay?" They promise to study super hard, swearing they are a person of their word. Otherwise, no rewards next time. Sibling quickly replies, "I swear I mean it." Fu Yunshu sighs. He feels so bad that his family's toxic mess is dragging Wen Chen's parents into this. Wen Chen hugs him. We're family now. There is no yours or mine. Besides, my parents actually spoil you way more than me anyway. They are happy to help. Fu Yunshu chuckles at his smooth talk. Soon, they return home. And Mom cheers. Chen is back. Let Mom look at you right now. Did you lose weight? Were you skipping meals in Haicheng?
Your face is pale! When Chen laughs, Mom, I did not lose weight. I was literally stuffed at every meal, but Yunshu is the one working like crazy.
You should be worrying about him instead. Mom sighs, that goes for both of you.
Mom tells them not to overdo it, promising their favorite dinner tonight.
She wants them to nourish themselves, and they sweetly agree.
They assure her they are fine, but Mom immediately asks if that scumbag Fu Jingwei is causing trouble.
They say not yet, but they have already hired people to check things out.
They are auditing his books, and Mom demands they dig all the way to the bottom.
She let him slide for stealing the inheritance, but targeting her son-in-law now is crossing the line. Plotting against her daughter and Fu's group? He really thought the Fu family was a joke.
Yunshu tries to calm her down, telling her not to ruin her health over this trash.
But Mom is too furious to stop, telling them to investigate freely because she has got their backs.
She will personally watch him at the old family manor to make sure he plays no dirty games.
Sure enough, in just 3 days, Yunshu's assistant secures the complete stack of evidence. Rushing back to Jing City, the assistant reports that everything has been fully exposed.
Turns out the vice president embezzled $300 million from a branch to pay off personal debts. If that is not wild enough, he even teamed up with rivals to steal their main West City project. Now get ready, because his financial crimes were just the start. On her usual car, he went even further. He secretly tampered with the brake lines, plotting to stage a deadly accident.
This explains the previous assistant's car crash, proving the uncle was pulling the strings all along.
With his dirty tricks fully exposed, Yunshu immediately orders all board directors to be notified. An emergency board meeting is set for 10 a.m. tomorrow morning. Her husband holds her hand, promising to stand by her side through the entire confrontation. The next day, Yunshu exposes Fu Jingwei for embezzling public funds and plotting to murder the president. With ironclad evidence on the table, he is officially stripped of all duties immediately. They are taking him to court, but the uncle still screams it is all a setup. Classic delusional behavior. But Yunshu just cold stares him down, saying the judge will decide whether it is a setup. Once the news hits the old manor, the furious aunt comes storming in. She demands to know why they arrested her husband, claiming they always treated Yunshu so well. But Mom steps up, calling her out for defending a literal murderer who targeted her daughter and son-in-law. Mom warns her that one more word will get her dragged away for investigation too.
Now that the trash is cleared, Guo comforts his wife, saying no one can ever hurt her again. She thanks him and her mother, but then wonders how they should handle Fu Yunshu.
Yunshu explains that Nyan actually had nothing to do with her father's crimes. She even tried to stop her dad, proving she is actually a decent person.
So Yunshu decides to let her stay at the entry level of Fu's group to work hard.
Guo completely agrees with this decision, saying it is right not to punish her for her father's sins. Later, Guo returns to school to teach, where his colleague Lu Wen immediately approaches him.
She admits she was being incredibly narrow-minded and talking trash behind his back before.
She begs him not to take her wild assumptions to heart.
Guo just smiles, saying they are colleagues, and the past is in the past.
She sincerely thanks him, offering to help with anything he needs in the future.
His students are also thrilled to have him back, calling him their absolute savior. They even beg him to update his educational short videos as soon as possible. He promises to keep uploading, and later at home, Yunshu asks if his first day back went smoothly. He tells her he is not tired at all, and that the students absolutely loved him. It was a complete success, but then he suddenly remembers something important. Their friend Ren Lei just called, inviting them over for a tennis match this weekend. Wan Yun is going too, so she asks him if he still wants to play. Of course he does, promising to go with her and teach her the ropes. He guarantees she will learn instantly, and she happily agrees to listen. When they arrive, the brother-in-law is hyped, saying he has been waiting forever. He mentions seeing their tennis videos online, and the views are absolutely popping off. Chen is basically built different at tennis, but he humbly calls it casual play. He insists he is no professional, but the kid says he is literally a viral star. He begs Chen to collab on the next video anytime he's free. Chen is totally down, and later that evening they head back to the family mansion. During dinner, the grandmother suddenly puts down her chopsticks to announce some serious business.
She notes that Chen and Yunshu have already been married for over 6 months.
Seeing how deeply in love they are, she asks when she gets a grandchild.
She complains about being bored at home, so she really wants a baby to spoil.
Chen tells her they are just letting nature take its course, which satisfies her.
She promises she will personally babysit and raise the kid every single day.
She vows to raise them healthy, though Yunshu secretly teases him about his excuse later. But here is the thing. 6 months later, she calls him over with a huge surprise.
She shows him the positive test, revealing she is already 6 weeks pregnant.
Ain't no way he is actually going to be a father now. The mother is ecstatic to become a grandmother, and the hype spreads to the mansion.
She immediately asks Yunshu if she wants sour or sweet dishes cooked right away.
She orders Chen to stay alert and feed her the second she gets hungry.
When Yunshu complains about her swollen legs, he is right there massaging them gently.
The moment she gets hungry, he rushes to the kitchen to cook fresh wontons.
As he serves her, she softly asks if she is being too much trouble.
He says never, because she and the baby are his absolute greatest treasures. And then boom, the author cooked here because Yunshu safely delivers a pair of twins. The baby boy looks just like Chen, and the girl is her mother's twin.
Looking at the 2 tiny babies, he actually starts crying, tears of pure joy.
He tells her they are absolutely gorgeous, looking like a perfect mix of them both.
The grandmother holds the twins, crying out that their family legacy is finally secure. She is thrilled to have grandchildren, and they throw a massive, grand celebration feast. The guests are swooning over how cute they are, joking about taking them home. He jokingly tells them to back off while holding Yunshu's hand tightly. Looking at the warm and lively room, Yunshu softly thanks him for everything. She thanks him for giving her such a beautiful home, but he feels incredibly grateful. That night, as the babies sleep soundly, she asks if they will stay this happy. He promises they will, wishing for their parents to stay healthy. The babies will grow up strong, and they will always protect each other.